Welcome to another edition of This Is My Offer. I am Jonathan Solomon, Principal Partner Solutions Architect for Media and Entertainment. Today we are talking with Prime Focus Technologies. Prime Focus offers Clear AI, a suite of tools for the media supply chain, from media asset management, or MAM, to AI metadata enrichment. With me is Patricio Cummins, SVP of Technology Sales. Patricio, tell us about yourself and the history of Prime Focus.
Hi, John. Thanks a lot for having me and having PFT here today. We're very happy for the opportunity to share with you and your audience a little bit of what we do and who we are. I've been in the industry for the last 24 years. I've seen many generations of technology come and go, and I can say without a shadow of a doubt that we are now in the face of a new true revolution, similar to the advent of the internet. 90s movies enthusiasts, maybe like you and I, could rightly call it the rise of the machines, and it's truly that. AI has come here to stay, and whether we like it or not, to partially take over. So the best we could do is embrace it and utilize it to make our lives easier and better. Now, quick intro to PFT. We've been around for over 15 years. A salient feature of our DNA, PFT started its journey as a services provider in the media space under the premise that for every dollar spent in tech, another $4 would be spent in implementing and running it. So while initially our focus was with running services, in a short span of time, the company started developing its own software to help it provide better services. Fast forward a few years and PFT became a tech provider in its own right, developing the technology it uses to provide services to its own customers and create efficiencies in their operations, thus becoming an ISV alongside with its managed service offering.
All right. Thanks, Patricio. PFT has certainly navigated the changing media and entertainment customer buying patterns well. You mentioned AI, and I think that's a great segue into talking about archives and the desire to extract value from a media archive. In fact, over the last year, we are seeing a trend to revitalize media archives. Production managers, archivists, media managers, even CROs seek not just the next generation asset manager, but a method to identify assets of value in their archives. PFT has long had the ability to create metadata, but what about, as you said, the rise of the machines?
Well, let me start by positioning the two flagship products we have. Clear is our solution for the media supply chain. We call Clear a smart MAM because it's the first MAM with embedded AI in it. And then we have Clear AI, which is our AI platform. Our customers could purchase Clear as a standalone web-based, fully SaaS MAM that exists in AWS, or as a workflow orchestration system. And they can also purchase Clear AI as a standalone tool to smarten up their existing MAMs. Now, we believe that Clear AI is the first AI platform of its kind that has been purpose-built for the M&E market. And when we think about Clear and this rise of machines, we deal with Clear AI as your infinite intern, one that is never tired and continues to do tasks night and day, especially all the laborious, repeatable tasks, right? But now, within the platform itself, there are a number of applications for the M&E industry, but we will focus the conversation today in our tools that help with archive migration and hydration, which is a way of calling the metadata enrichment process performed by AI.
The intern analogy is really spot on. That's what I think a lot of people are using AI for, and it's a good way to wrap around what it can do, and how it can help operators and users be more productive. So that's a really unique model you have, though, Patricio, where you've got the solution to smarten an existing MAM and bring value to legacy archives without a major change for operators or operations. What's great is customers across all industries that have as many as 100 years of intellectual property may want to use it. And this intellectual property is on a variety of physical media, from film to videotape to, of course, spinning disc. And perhaps as a librarian or media manager, the task can be very overwhelming to find content to use. So how does Prime Focus help customers identify and move their assets?
Right. Let me quickly describe our solution here. Our journey with clients begins with an introduction or consultation where we identify the needs, we scope it out, what assets they have, where they're located, in what form and shape, what processes they're looking to improve, and what they want to do with the assets and the outputs of our AI once they have been processed. Now, good side information, we hold an AWS M&E competency. It can help with archive migration through our service arm. But back to the actual solution, step one would be digitizing their archives. At least the ones that are identified as in risk of deterioration, been sitting there for a long time, or have been identified of high value to new audiences. At the point of interest, we extract proxies for each asset. Then we run the proxies around against our AI models and engines, thus allowing us to hydrate these archives and turn these passive archives into active libraries by capturing all the metadata in them. When we describe the type of data that becomes available, you can think of everything from the physical structure of a file, which is slates, credits, blocks, breaks, to the most granular information, face recognition, places, scenes, themes, dialogues, aggregations of scenes or compilations, descriptions, you name it. Next step is optional. Customers can choose to access digitized assets through our MAM, which provides the added functionality of our AI platform and GenAI powered conversational bot already embedded into our MAM. Or if customers already have a MAM and they like it, they can utilize our AI platform to run the different modular applications on their digitized content. Our AI platform will then return the augmented metadata back to the MAM for search and retrieval and downstream use cases. Alternatively, customers can choose to use our AI platform as the UI of choice, sitting on top of their MAM, which will ultimately act as the relational database underneath our UI. Mm-hmm. Now, once the hydration process is complete and the metadata has been identified and extracted, the digitized and hydrated content is ready for search and retrieval of almost any kind of query. And this newly added content can now be used in creative processes, allowing for, let's say, clipping, scene compilations, mood detections, ratings compliance, ad marking preparation for fast channels. That's huge right now. And many other use cases which will ultimately assist operators right in scaling and speeding up their output. In a nutshell, what I laid out before is what we call turning your passive archives that are just sitting there into active libraries. And there's a nice slide here that I'd like to use. One on the left is just your clutter up archive, which is maybe the trunk you left at your parents when you left for college. And on the right is your very tightly organized content that you can actually go and just retrieve easily and utilize.
Yeah, the left is my sister's house and the right is my house. So let's just get that clear, right? You can always find what you're looking for. No, that's really interesting. And an active library, right? That's great. It allows people to exactly find what they're looking for. But there's so much processing that happens behind the scenes throughout the M&E supply chain. It sounds like the Smart MAM Clear and PFT's active libraries concept through Clear AI opens enhanced visibility into an archive, which creates monetization opportunities, obviously, right? And we talked about some of our customers having 100 years of content. There's a lot of storage required among the high resolution assets, the metadata, the proxies. How does Clear manage asset storage for both cost and operational efficiency?
Well, cost is a factor for sure. And something that we need to look into is your content strategy. Because our customers use all sorts of AWS storage tiers. We could decide that for content with little to no use, in consultation with the customer, for content that is not used as frequently, we could utilize Glacier or Glacier Deep Archive. Right. But Amazon S3 is a standard storage for most of our customers, right? It's the most frequently used storage tier, mostly because of its accessibility. Now, the high resolution asset can remain in the customer's preferred storage. Could be on-prem, could be cloud-based, could be a deep archive or not, while we work with the proxies from that same content, right? Which will have a fractional size when compared to the original asset. And when we want to do something downstream, like publishing or whatever, this proxies can then call out the original file, put it back together, and then we can export it in a high-res manner.
Still goes back to the original conform model of online editing. So yeah, it's what's old is new again, but it's with proxies really makes that much more achievable and financially feasible. But let's talk about the smart MAM for a minute. Metadata is the new king among content owners. It unlocks the value of your archives so you can make use of or monetize your intellectual property. Without it, you're continuing to store assets without the ability to identify what can or should be used or even discarded. Prime Focus has a few solutions to help with metadata enrichment. Can you provide an overview of the latest one? Maybe one that uses generative AI?
Sure. The latest innovation in AI is the use of agents, and most saliently the ones utilizing Gen AI, like our content highlights application, right? Just getting long form, turning it into a short form just by prompting. And our conversational bot, which is, if you think about how you can use tools like ChatGPT today, where you're prompting an interface and an interface responds to you with answers. Well, conversational AI inside of Clear is very much the same. You can now talk to your man and request things. For example, give me all the clips from a certain movie that shows a certain thing, violence, cases, whatever. Now the man will serve them even if they were not clipped or tagged before. Then you can follow up by saying, now provide me with taglines for me to post to social media. Bam, your man again provides this as well. Or you can say, just export these, or provide me a synopsis of a desired length so I can publish, or reframe them so I can put them on social media. It can all be done. Again, the rise of the machines, right? You have this intern doing everything for you, everything at speed and at scale. Now, the way I see it, Gen AI is also democratizing access and use to a MAM, to new departments. Before you needed the media services team to access your MAM, right? Provide everything I just said, with maybe the assistance of an editor. Now, someone in the digital department with no technical background can perform all of these tasks unassisted. So back to your question, this is a clear active library use case of Gen AI being used in three ways: in content creation, as in clipping, social publishing; content discovery, mostly with tagging; and conversational AI inside of a MAM, which is, to me, a new concept.
This takes me back to the days of being prior to when I was a seller, when I was buying and solving solutions and media and entertainment customers. And we had a lot of people in the media management team that was legacy knowledge. It was all in their head. The MAM, the search terms, you could ask them when one actor did at one point and they'd give you the date. Now we can do that with Gen AI. And that means that more people, to your point, can democratize access to that content within a company and really continue to monetize. So I'm sure I could come up with an example of what I would have done 10 years ago, but how are your customers using these today?
Well, the solutions are used basically in three areas, right? Big buckets: content management, the content creation, and the content distribution. You can slice it as many ways you like, but these are three very big, easily recognizable buckets. Now, I can provide you some short stories around different types of customers and different verticals and how they're using it. Let's first mention one of the fastest growing segments in the world of media, which is sports, right? Today, most, if not all, sports leagues and most clubs have media departments. This was unheard before, right? For years, these entities have only stored and archived their multimedia assets in physical form. Now it's quite common for these sports leagues, bodies to approach us with, as you said before, 80 or 100 years of content that have been sitting and degrading in shelves. So the first thing they'll do is look at digitizing this content. They might look at digitizing the whole lot if they have the budget, or selecting a subset of content that will first be digitized, like maybe the thing that is going to degrade first, or the things with the highest value, right? Now, first they digitize, then they run the AI through it, they extract all the metadata, and then start sharing through the channels, be it social media, fast channels, or media partners. Again, unlocking more revenue opportunities. Other verticals, well, the common suspect is M&E customers. They will use AI for a number of things. Localization, that's a great use case, right? Subtitling, translating, dubbing, with all the catches there with disclaimers for rights on voices. Compliance is another great use case. Detecting ratings liable content like profanity, nudity, violence. Instead of having someone watch the whole content, you can have AI give you all the time codes when these things happen. Segmentation, I think I mentioned it before, just detecting the physical structure of content. In a 30-minute piece of content, before you'd have someone going through the whole thing and marking it. Now on a 30-minute clip, while before it would take an editor 20-25 minutes to do it, you can do it in 3 minutes or under. Ad marking generation, another one, is very useful for fast monetization. And then you have some uncommon suspects like retail customers, right? Anyone that sells online. They will utilize AI to create snackable content out of the long form. Just think about those shows that happen on free-to-air TV after the shows are finished. They will now try to create snackable content, things that are short and that they can be reframed and shared in social media for mobile consumption, Instagram, whatnot. And also to utilize, to identify the elements inside of a content for direct-to-consumer sales. So just quickly, there's 3 different verticals using AI very differently one to the other. Now, we like to say that for several reasons, our background, our dedication to leaving no stone unturned for customers, how innovation is ingrained in PFT's culture. I'd love to think that PFT would be the MAM and more especially the AI of choice for the M&E world.
It sounds like it would be the clear choice, would it not, Patricio?
That'd be a great close phrase. Thank you, Sully.
So for customers with legacy or even current archives, Prime Focus Technologies offers migration services with ingest into MAM, and regardless of the customer's existing asset management solution, Clear AI can smarten any MAM with the generation and hydration of metadata, the key to unlocking the value of content. Patricio, how can our customers connect with you or purchase Clear AI?
Well, all of these solutions are available at AWS's marketplace. We have a number of listings under various solution categories, including archiving, where we serve customers with the workflow orchestration tools in Clear and Clear AI use cases, all within Clear AI. So very easy. Go to marketplace, find us, or just call your AWS rep.
Well, Patricio, thank you for joining us in this episode of This Is My Offer. Prime Focus Technologies' offering for the media supply chain is innovative and can help M&E workloads across all industries. Information on Prime Focus's offerings and how to contact Prime Focus are in the description. Thank you for watching.
And thanks for having us.